afternoon and welcome to the Midday Brief here on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Ni Akrofi Smartabe. Coming up in this bulletin, some residents of Ashaiman say they are fed up with the seeming lack of interest in road construction and the delays by the contractor working on the roads in their constituency. Independent candidate in the recently held by-election in the Akachi South constituency threatens to go on demonstration with or without police escort, and we'll be crossing over to Parliament to get an update on preparations for the President's State of the Nation's address tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll have some briefs and some wellness tips for you. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. To our first story, some residents of Ashaiman say they are fed up with the seeming lack of interest on the part of a contractor in charge of the main road construction in the area. But officials at the urban road say they are in the process of terminating the current contract and re-award it.
Some residents at Ashaiman blocked the main route to the Ashaiman main lorry station on Monday, demanding immediate action by the Municipal Assembly on a delayed road construction. The residents claimed the road had remained untarred for 4 years and they can no longer bear the dust they put up with daily. The residents had earlier petitioned to demonstrate over delaying construction of the same road from Valco Flat to the main lorry station and the police station. Information gathered indicates the contract has been awarded to different contractors, but little work has been done on the stretch. Residents accuse the current contractor, Anamwa Construction Incorporation, for doing next to nothing to reduce the dust on the road and begin actual construction. When Joy News visited the area, residents have blocked the main road and threatened not to remove the blockade until the road has been completed. The only way residents deal with the dust is to water the road daily, but that does not reduce the cloud of dust vehicles leave behind when they use the road. Most shops along the stretch had been closed due to the nuisance the dust creates, while the shops opened can only sell dusty products to consumers. Residents couldn't keep quiet at the sight of the news team.
If you don't know your work, don't lie. Don't lie. Foolish.
They shared their sentiments.
My shop, I'm selling TV systems, fridges. So now I lock my orders to the system store because I cannot bring system because that's for all. If you go watch my shop cry, you will feel sorry. I have 4 shops in this place. Now I close all the 2. I'm running only 1. All the systems spoil.
52,009 October. And on the 2 roadway. So on the Yema, Yenieti. Omu di rare anya webe Kuno, Nsosu emba, fi emba, ye bre. Enti de ye nyina bibia condemn. Bibia condemn. Uko ha this year, uko this year, omu si ko engineer no so omu si contractor. Enti confusion na e basa. Ye hu de omu ye.
This road has been gravelled like 3 years with this, getting to 4 years. The contractor is not able to do this road. People are running business on this road. This road is one of the busiest roads in Ashaiman. People are selling TV, people are selling food, people are selling phone, people are selling medicine on this road. When you go to the shops, the dust enter in the shop, in the houses, every places.
Project Director of Anamwa Construction Incorporation, Mark Anthony, explained his company is doing its work, though awaiting for the road engineers at the Ashaiman urban roads to allow them go ahead with the aspect of tarring the road.
What we are waiting for is the road engineer have to give us the final go ahead that now the road is okay, we should tar it. I have the document here showing the road, the bitumen we've bought since February is there. We have the other one here from Bewa Construction also bought on what? On the 1st February. So now you could see here there's pre-coating also ready here. Okay? To me, all the amenities for the road construction to complete within 3 weeks' time is done. So I'm only waiting for the road engineers from the urban road to come and give me the final verdict and the testing before I can bitumize the road.
So the news team called at the Ashaiman urban roads To ascertain the claims of Anamwa Construction Incorporation, Municipal Roads Engineer Prosper Anonu revealed that they are in the process of terminating the contract awarded to Anamwa Construction Incorporation, emphasizing the materials they intend to use for the construction works are not of good quality.
After we have issued the letter to the contractor, then he brought some trips of gravel, and we asked our lab, the laboratory men, to go and test it for him. And we realized all he brought is clay. And clay, if it dries out, it becomes powder, and it will generate a lot of dust. So we asked the contractor to cut away the material and replace it with very good quality base material. And since then, the contractor, I don't know, he has abandoned the project again. And we issued another letter. So as I'm talking to you now, I even have a letter for him, which is recommendation for termination.
Trust Joy News to bring you updates on this developing story. Patricia Osei's report for Joy News.
Well, welcome back from Ashaiman, and I will be crossing over to Parliament to gauge the House preparedness for the State of the Nation's address tomorrow, as well as find out exactly what the House has been up to. We understand the minority has served notice that they may not be at the State of the Nation's address tomorrow. But Eric Curtis Howard is my colleague who is covering Parliament for us, and he joins me on the line. Good afternoon to you, Curtis.
Good afternoon, Smart.
Okay, first of all, bring us up to date. What's happening in Parliament currently?
Okay, today in Parliament, there were two statements on sanitation and waste management in the country. MP for Dome Kwabenya Adrasafu raised the issue about improper sanitation and the dumping of refuse by some waste companies in her constituency, and she called on the Ministry of Local Government and government as a matter of urgency to come up quickly to do something about the situation. And the MP for Asokwa also raised the issue about improper sanitation in her constituency and the fact that government needs to step up efforts to tackle sanitation. As of now, members are also giving eulogies, and they are giving eulogies to the late Volta Regional Minister, Henry Ford Kamel, who passed away on Christmas Day last year. And they are also reading tribute in his memory. So basically, that is what is happening in Parliament at the moment.
Okay. And then tomorrow is the big day. President John Mahama will be presenting the State of the Nation's address. Are you seeing any signs of preparations ahead of the State of the Nation tomorrow?
Preparation in Parliament House at the moment is ongoing. As I speak to you now, the forecourt of Parliament is being painted. Where the White House will be painted is being painted, and I can see the days where the President will be mounting and inspecting the Guard of Honor before entering into the chambers of Parliament to read the State of the Nation. That the days have been brought, and the workers are working on it, and I can see security personnel going around their daily activities to make sure that the place is being well put in order, to make sure that tomorrow's program is a great success. But yesterday there was a dress rehearsal from the Navy. They'll be mounting a Guard of Honor tomorrow. So there was a dress rehearsal, and after when the President comes, how do we arrange themselves as to how to go about activities here? So preparation is in earnest, and for tomorrow's activities. And
I think we've got that visual of the dress rehearsal. We'll be showing it to our viewers in a bit. But the minority, we know they said that they may be boycotting the State of the Nation's address presentation tomorrow, and they have indicated they will be holding a press conference of sorts at Parliament. Have they started? Have they said anything so far in the chamber?
All right, Smart. I'm picking through information that they might boycott on tomorrow's session. But as to the nature of the boycott is what we are yet to find out. As to whether it's going to be an outright boycott, as in they will not be in the Chamber of Parliament, or they will be in the Chamber of Parliament but will not partake in the proceedings. That is yet to be confirmed. But I gather that the minority will be having a meeting this afternoon, right after the parliamentary session, to decide as to. It's going to be to decide on 3 weeks as to whether they're going to be part of the State of the Nation address or they're going to boycott, and the nature of the boycott, that will be decided. So right after Parliament, when the meeting is going on, I'll be hanging around to find out what they intend doing tomorrow so that we can get information for our listeners and viewers.
Okay, well, so we'll be counting on you to get us that information from Parliament. Thank you very much. Eric Curtis Howard is my colleague who is covering Parliament for us, and trust us here to get you the information from the minority as to the exact state or nature their boycott of tomorrow's State of the Nation's address will take. But as I did promise, that we did get some footage of the Navy contingent that was going through the dress rehearsal. Let's show you that right now. Okay, so we just gave you a gist of what to expect from the Navy contingent tomorrow as the President comes to Parliament to present the State of the Nation's address. So remember what you saw at first. But let's move away from Parliament now. And even as many grapple with erratic electricity supply situation, Joy News has learned emergency power generators acquired some 5 years ago to augment supply appear abandoned at a site in Tema. The machines, which came to be known as toy machines, could collectively generate significant amount of electricity to augment the situation. Joy News has been to the site to see these machines.
Sources tell Joy News the 127 diesel generators were purchased at a cost of $101 million by the state in 2007. They were brought in to shore up the country's electricity supply, which was at critical levels during the energy crisis at the time. They comprise 54 40-footer containers, 47 20-footer containers, as well as 26 skid-mounted generators. Though a few have been distributed to locations in Kumasi, Tamale, Accra and Bolgatanga, majority of the generators idle here at the Tema VRA power plant. The generators, though very expensive, to run as part of the national grid could prove very critical as backups for critical installations that can't do without electricity, such as health facilities. With capacities ranging between 1 and 2.2 megawatts, a single unit could power the whole of Kolebu Teaching Hospital. According to a VRA source, the plan was to distribute the generators to institutions after the 2007 energy crisis, but 5 years on, many are still unused. But restarting these machines won't be so cheap. They would first have to be overhauled at a cost of up to $136,000 each. Experts have blamed the abuse of the machines during the power crisis for the challenges encountered during their use in 2007, explaining that as emergency units, they shouldn't have been run around the clock for several days as they need to undergo regular maintenance after a few days. Energy experts, meanwhile, believe government, as a matter of urgency, should implement an electricity generation plan to solve the country's consistent power problems. They say, with no reserve capacity, existing plants serving the country will be run to fail since maintenance cannot be done on them.
Now away from Tema, and the independent candidate in the recently held by-election in the Akachi South constituency, Evans Gadatoji Kuno, has served notice to the police in that constituency that they will not be cowed. He and his supporters will not be cowed into submission to call off the intended demonstration. The parliamentary aspirant and his supporters want to stage a demonstration to protest what they consider irregularities at the polls.
Addressing a youth forum at Akachi, Evans Gadatoji Kuno said the recently held by-election was not free and fair. He is therefore threatening to go to court to contest the results. According to him, the NDC's Bernard Ahiafo did not win the polls, hence should not be considered the MP-elect. He also accused the Akachi police of trying to frustrate the attempt by his supporters to stage a demonstration as a means of registering their
demonstration that they didn't have the numerical strength to support the demonstration. So they should postpone the demonstration to another day. In view of that, they decided to postpone the demonstration to Saturday. Surprisingly, a day before Saturday, they sent another letter saying they will not allow them to organize the demonstration. And when they realized that the youth were hell-bent on organizing the demonstration, of that we decided to organize this youth forum so that all those people who were angry as a result of that, we can meet all of them and talk to them so that we can all, we can all stay in peace and see what we can do.
Evans Gadeto Jikunu, however, says he and his supporters will hit the streets soon, with or without police escort.
Well, let's stay in the Volta region a while longer, and information reaching us is that there's been a fire outbreak at Sokode, and it has affected one of the Catholic outposts over there. Let's get on the line now with our correspondent Komla Ado for more details. Good afternoon to you, Komla. Hello, Komla, good afternoon. Hello, Komla. Hello, Komlado, if you can hear me, good afternoon to you. I don't think Komla can hear us, so let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll get back on the line and get that update on the fire at Sokode from correspondent Komla Ado. And then also, we'll be speaking to a group called the Young Democrats who are calling for the arrest of the leadership of the Let My Vote Count Alliance. Stay with us here on the Midday Brief. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday Brief. Now to some other stories. The leadership of the Young Democrats, a pro-NDC group, has called on the Inspector General of Police, the acting Inspector General of Police, to, as a matter of urgency, arrest and prosecute the leadership of the Let My Vote Count Alliance and Ernesto Usubempa for threatening social peace and the lives of Supreme Court judges. Sam Kwe, the convener of the group, spoke at a press conference in Accra where he claimed to be witness to the latest outburst by one of the leaders of the Let My Vote Count Alliance, asking the NPP leadership to allow them throw bombs, destroy schools and kill people in their quest to make the international community see their intent in ensuring that the verdict of the December election was reversed in their favor. Sam Kwe joins us on the line now for some more details. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Kwe, and thank you for joining us on the Midday Brief.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. All right, so give us some more insight into this particular issue. You say you were witness to the Let My Vote Count Alliance saying that the NPP leadership should allow them throw bombs. Exactly which of the leadership, or who among the leadership of the Let My Vote Count did you hear say this?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your listeners and viewers. I think that this very story has been in the public domain for some time now. I think about 2 weeks ago, the Let My Vote Count Alliance held a rally at Taifa. And in that rally, a lot of comments were made. One of the comments that were made, which has been heavily criticized by the Young Democrats and other well-meaning Ghanaians, is the insult rained on His Excellency President Tomama by Madame Eslausu. Again, on that same platform, Owusu Bempa, who is also a member of the Let My Vote Count Alliance, openly declared on that platform that if the current case in the Supreme Court regarding the petition that the NPP flag bearer, Jacobette Lamte, and then the petitioners to the case in court, if the case does not go in the favor of the NPP, then they will be compelled to revisit the killing or the murder of the judges in 1982. And to be very honest with you, when that statement was made, nobody came out to criticize, especially civil society organizations, to criticize such statements. Again, the Let My Vote campaign alliance created a platform that allowed some of their members and sympathizers made open declarations that the NPP should allow them to begin to strategize, to throw bombs at schools, cars, and innocent Ghanaians, so that they'll be sending a signal to the international community that they are serious. We thought that Ghana is a peaceful nation, and there are rules and regulations, there are laws, our constitution is working, and so to the extent that the NPP has taken the case to the court, it is legitimate, and everybody should applaud that.
Okay.
But when you begin to call on the leadership to throw bombs, and also to threaten the murder of judges, we think that does not order for the peaceful...
Sorry to cut in here, but with a particular reference to the judges, as you said, that he said they want to revisit the murder of the judges. Does it then mean that they also intend to kill judges? I don't think that's what he meant.
But why must you say that they should remember the murder of the Supreme Court judges in 1982?
But that is even something that even the judiciary has been commemorating every year. They call it Martyrs' Day.
No, but that is different. That is different. This is a rally being held. And on that same platform, many issues were raised, even insulting the president. And it is on tape. And we have told the police that if the police do not have the tape, we have the tape. And we prove to them that Owusu Bemba did say on that platform that if the judges want to remember what happened to their fellow judges in 1982, then the case should not go in the favor of the MPP. And we thought that is threatening. And that is not too good. A week after the threat of the bomb, bomb was indeed defused by the military at Laboni. And that is a coincidence. We think that Ghana is a peaceful country. And so, look, they have the legitimate right to form associations and be organizing rallies. But they should not use that platform to be calling on bomb throwing and threatening judges. And that is why we think this will not happen in any country. If you stand in another state or any European country and threat bomb or mention bomb issue, you'll be arrested in the next minute.
But don't you think the security are already handling the situation?
Say it again.
The security are already keeping tabs on this particular group. They've invited their leadership for a meeting once at the Medina police station. That was also because they were said to have organized that meeting without prior permission from the police.
The information available to us indicates that when they were invited, they did not talk about these issues that we raised. So we have officially made a request for them to be arrested and interrogated and prosecuted if possible. The police must do their work and put some fear into people who want to disturb the peace and stability of this country. We will not relent. Young Democrats will never relent until Owusu Bemba, especially Omare Wadie, and then Esra Owusu have been arrested on this remarks that they made.
But then how...
well of us. And especially Asra, who is honorable member of parliament, should be doing things worthy of a member of parliament and not be insulting the president on a platform. We will not sit down to let them do the kind of things they did during the bill time. We will not allow them.
Okay, but
so if they intend to throw bombs to Ghanaians, then they should be ready to face the law.
All right, sorry to cut you here again, Sam. But then with the issue of the judges again, some would then say that you're just putting your own interpretation to that particular statement that Owusu Bemba made.
No, why would look, just imagine somebody to join them or multi-TV and then trying to tell you that, look, I'm here, I'm demanding this, and that, look, some people were killed. There were some bombs thrown before. What would that mean? That's implication. The tape is there. So we are saying we have the tape. If the police want evidence, we can bring the evidence so that.
But okay, but have you voluntarily? Okay, but have you given?
Why would be mentioning 1932 killing of judges on their platform? What would that mean?
Okay, Sam, but if you have the evidence and you're waiting for the police to ask you for it, and you are making this call, why don't you go ahead and give the police the evidence anyway, and then ask them to...
That is exactly what we did in the petition. And we told the police that we are ready to help them in their investigation. So they should call them and interrogate them, and we will be ready to give it to them. That is exactly why we officially petitioned, our telephone numbers and address are available. So they should arrest them and invite us to produce the evidence for them if they don't have it. Because it's in the public domain.
But have the police gotten back to you since you submitted the petition?
Well, it was only yesterday that we gave the petition to them. We did not give them ultimatum. We believe they will definitely do a follow-up on this story. So we are yet to hear from the police.
Okay.
They indicated that they will work on this in a speedy fashion.
All right. So I guess we'll have to leave it here for now. Sam Kwei, thank you very much. He's the convener for the Young Democrats, a pro-NDC group, and they are asking that the acting IGP or the police service, as it is, arrests the leadership of the Let My Vote Count Alliance to interrogate them about some comments that they've made. We were trying to reach Samir Uku, who is also a leading member of the Let My Vote Count Alliance, but we've not been able to establish contact with them. But of course, stay with us. We'll be delving deeper into this particular issue. We'll be getting some responses from the police and others concerned with this particular issue. But we'll take another break. We'll be right back. Stay with us here on the Midday Brief. Welcome back. Let's do some more stories now. And the Minister of Chieftaincy and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Seydou Dana, has assumed office, having survived the protest over his appointment by some of the very chiefs he's supposed to work with simply because he is blind. He has pledged to use his expertise and experience to deliver and open up opportunities for others like him. Joy News' Walalom Johnson caught up with him to find out how he's coping in his new office.
Government some time back directed that all government institutions and public buildings be made accessible to all persons, including the physically challenged. But with a mandate such as Dr. Dana's, how easily will he be managing his movements at post, being a man without sight? I try to find out if government is taking a great lead in that regard. But as evident here, in one of the state houses, adherence to that directive was absent. The entrance to the Chieftaincy Ministry, however, is disabled friendly, but not to the very top of the building. We are, however, told that Dr. Dana knows his way out and in within the ministry, having worked there for close to 2 decades. His official office is ready in few days.
It's actually at the preparation stage. They're getting the place ready. And let's get into the minister's office, actually. Wow. There you go. As you can see, it's quite a big place. Comfortable seats and couch. And just right here is a painter getting the place ready. Right ahead, to the right, is actually the washroom, also at a preparation stage. But we were told by tomorrow, painting must have been over. Curtains and blinds will be fixed, and it will be ready for him to walk in and start work.
Carrying out his duties might somehow come with some difficulty, but I tell you, he appends his signature, make his own calls among others, finding lasting solutions to problems, and the magic of retentive memory is his portion. To make it more easier for him, this is his laptop called the Braille Note.
Press list. Email.
It's
Internet.
giving me the various
Chat.
options.
Media center. Navigation. Book reader.
Book reader. So I'm now zeroing on the book reader. Enter.
Read book in which folder? Press enter for my books.
At the time, I thank God my memory was photographic. So with this, I think I count myself lucky that there's something like this.
Is there any way you would want to demonstrate maybe how to get an information on a newspaper for us to know how it works?
Well, that one is not yet here. We call it voice reader.
Okay.
I place the order, and I'm told I'll get in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
That one, you just put the newspaper on it, and it reads.
How do you append your signatures, or someone do that on your behalf?
I can do that. I put this finger here.
Okay.
As a guide. Then I put the pen here. Then I move it. Some people who have never had the chance to interact with people who don't see, rather unfortunately, have very wrong perception. In fact, excuse me, some people seem to think that when somebody has lost their sight and he cannot see, it's like he's a moron. But that is not correct. You can have somebody who is not, and he's very intelligent, and you may have eyes, and when you talk, he rather sees you to be somebody very faulty in your reasoning.
He has ordered for the note reader and a special phone that will aid his output.
It has also talking capacity, and they also have the braille. So this is the talking.
The time is 1:56 p.m.
1:56 p.m. But then if I were to be in a forum or a court or somewhere, I could then open it without pressing the voice. And then it gives the same thing. The time is 1:03, the same.
The journey he embarked upon to reach where he is now, one could only conclude that impairment is not incompetence.
The fact that a person is robbed of one of his senses or one of his abilities doesn't mean the man should be, or the woman should be, just left to pine away. If you do that, you are robbing the nation, not the person. Because you've seen through history that you have had people who have performed. You know, there are three things when we talk about knowing: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge is knowing, but then understanding is to be able to apply the knowing. So you can have knowledge without understanding. And knowledge plus understanding is what gives you wisdom. I am praying that and I'll work hard on that. That at the end of the day, even the worst skeptics, the worst people who don't see anything good in disabled, I believe they will come to see.
He has great quality working with others.
You may think that because of the disability, he may not have the full grips of the issues that you are discussing with him. But you'll be surprised he can recount vividly the major issues and then whatever you've recommended or the final decisions that has been taken. So he's somebody we think we can work very well with. And because he's well grounded on chieftaincy and traditional issues, we think that he would spearhead the ministry and will be able to achieve some of the issues that have been outstanding for some time now.
Some believe two of such personality within any government will be a marvel.
If any of the governments is seriously wishing to make the chieftaincy institution any viable institution to be content with, then I wish this man is retained as the minister for chieftaincy, irrespective of any government in power. And I wish we could have 3 or more of his caliber in the system.
It is obvious he is without sight, but described by many as a visionary leader, and having amassed a lot of experience within the fraternity of chieftaincy and traditional affairs, there is no better person for the job. I am Derek Walalom Johnson for Joy News.
Well, I'm happy to know that he settled in nicely and his office is going to be ready for him to start working fully soon. But let's do some other story now. President John Mahama and his wife Lodina have presented 100 laptops and 250 exercise books to the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale to facilitate the teaching of information communication technology.
The presentation of the items was done on behalf of the First family by the caretaker Northern Regional Minister, Moses Bukari Mabengba. He advised school authorities and students to put the items to good use.
Once you are knocking your chest and saying the president and the first lady are from Glasgow, you might be asking yourself, what legacy are you leaving yourself for your genius? After 10 years, when we meet again, and the genius are here, and you come back as an old student, what will you be? Will you still be the same 1C holder? Or you will have also gone beyond? Exactly that's what I'm talking of. And you can only do that when you are very serious with your work, your books.
The caretaker regional minister also made a cash donation of 1,000 Ghana cedis to the school for the purchase of mathematics textbooks for the students. Until the presentation of the laptops, the 2,686 students had to make do with 150 desktops computers for their ICT studies.
Well, it's always nice to make donations to your alma mater. Probably we'll do that sometime soon. But we're taking another break here on the Midday Brief. We'll return shortly with wellness and briefs. Thank you for staying with us here on the Midday Brief. As promised, we are giving you some wellness and some briefs. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Smart. You could do with a little bit of wellness, so why don't we just step straight into that?
Over to you.
Okay. Now for wellness this afternoon, we're taking a look at the interesting topic of bedwetting. Everybody has been victim to this at one point or the other in their lives. And it's embarrassing, agreed, and it can be extremely inconvenient, but thankfully, most of us grow out of it by the time we leave our childhood behind. There are a few that see it through to their teens or a little further beyond that. Now, bedwetting is an issue that millions of families face every night, and it is something we're taking a look at in our Wellness Brief today.
Some few weeks ago, a young girl was punished by her grandparents for wetting the bed. She was asked to sit on boiling water as punishment for consistently doing what the grandparents thought was an embarrassing act. The bizarre incident attracted a lot of attention from the media and the public. Nocturnal enuresis, the medical name for bedwetting, is a common problem in children, especially those under 6 years old. Statistics indicate that about 13% of 6-year-olds wet their beds, while 5% of children aged 10 never stay dry, with between 0.5% to 1% of the adult population wetting their beds. Bedwetting often runs in families, and many children who do that have a relative who did it too. Dr. Andre Kwesikuma of the Eden Family Hospital explains.
It's hereditary, and that is the irony of the whole thing, because if one parent wets the bed, then the child has about 44% chance of also wetting the bed. If both parents were wetting their beds, there's a very great chance, about 77% chance of the child wetting the bed. So most cases of this is hereditary. And then the explanation is that the hormone that is produced to reduce the urine production at night is something that is controlled in the brain and is passed on from one generation to another. Okay, so the ability to produce that hormone is something that is inherited from a parent. Okay, so the child inherits it. There's a developmental delay, and then the parents are punishing or teasing the child. But this is something that is coming from the family.
There are two groupings of people who wet their beds. The primary group never has a dry night since childhood and get into adulthood with it. And the secondary group stay dry at around 6 years old and start wetting their bed at adulthood. There are reasons for these anomalies.
It could be a structural problem of the bladder. Maybe there's a small bladder, so it gets full easily, or things to do with infection. Yeah, sometimes to consume caffeine, coffee, or alcohol use also have this issue. And then psychological issues too. Some mental retardation issues also cause it. And then sometimes there's stress, either psychological stress, there's a death in the family, or stress from the workplace also can also lead to that.
Bedwetting usually goes away on its own, but until it does, it can be embarrassing and uncomfortable for victims. But depending on some of the causes outlined, here are some measures to help reduce bedwetting.
Beyond 6, no feeding for the child. You don't eat anything or drink anything. Then after 6, before the child gets to bed, the child will go and pass urine before getting to bed. And then there's also what you call bedwetting alarms. It's not very common around, but it's an electronic device that is put in the underwear. As soon as there's moisture around, it will vibrate like a phone and give an alarm, and the child will wake up and go and pass urine. That also can be used. And then if it is determined that the hormone in the blood, the level is low, the hormone I mentioned, then there's medication that can be given, to increase the hormone and then to reduce that. And if it's people who have a small bladder neck, then surgery can be done, to correct it.
Often a natural part of development, bedwetting may last for a while, and kids usually grow out of it. But providing emotional support and reassurance can help the victim feel better until it stops.
Welcome back from Wellness. Let's step into the world of international briefs, where South African prosecutors say a witness heard non-stop talking like fighting coming from the home of athlete Oscar Pistorius before shots were fired early on 14th February. And David Cameron has become the first serving UK Prime Minister to pay his respects at the scene of one of the bloodiest massacres in British history.
They too